俺はもうすぐに死ぬ。
Anime has always managed to bring out a rainbow of emotions in some of the most die-hard fans, from joy to hatred and everything in between. But the sudden loss of a beloved character that fans have grown attached to is enough to bring out grief and sadness almost comparable to losing someone in real life. Hey there, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go down a list of the top 10 saddest deaths in anime. Just a brief spoiler warning here. Obviously, we're going to talk about scenes from the following anime that you probably shouldn't know till you watched it. So please, watch at your own risk. If you don't want to, it'd be best to tune off now and go watch some of our other awesome videos. So, if you're still here, better get those tissues ready to relive some of the hardest scenes to watch in the whole genre. Number 10. Himeno, Chainsaw Man. Himeno's death in the Chainsaw Man was a perfectly set-up, tragic mess. While at a restaurant with Denji, Aki Hayakawa, and Power, the group is attacked by another group and they all take bullets to the head. This leads to a powerful battle between Aki and Katana Man, with both giving their all as Aki gets critically injured. In desperation to save the man she loves, Himeno asks Power and her ghost devil to help Aki, but both refuse, stating that the fight is too intense for either of them to be able to help in any way. This causes Himeno to resort to a desperate measure and give all of her body in exchange for all of the Ghost Devil's power. The Ghost Devil eagerly agrees and consumes her, which allows his full form to be summoned to the real world. What makes Himeno's sacrifice painful, however, is that her death is ultimately pointless. While her power does turn the tide of the battle for a split second, it's ultimately cancelled out by Akane's Snake Devil swallowing her attack whole. As well as that, her sacrifice only fueled Aki's thirst for revenge, the exact opposite of what she wished for. Number 9. Askeladd, Vinland Saga.
お前背伸びたな。年なんぼになった。
Askeladd is a confusing character in every sense of the word, and it would not be an exaggeration to say he is one of the best written and most respected in anime. His death is just as hard-hitting as his journey in the world of Vinland Saga. Askeladd, a villain-turned-hero who is a main character in his own right, is put in a difficult position when given the choice that would change his life by King Sven to attack whales or Canute. Not wanting to sacrifice the people he has paid every price imaginable for and also filled with rage at the words of the king, Askeladd goes on to announce his true full name, Lucius Artorius Castus, and cuts off Sven's head. He announces himself as the legitimate king that deserves to rule over Britannia and goes on a rampage, killing off the guards who rush to attack him for killing Sven. He plays up his insanity to try and make it seem like Canute has no involvement with the death of his father. In this moment, as Canute stabs Askeladd through the heart in his almost heroic push to save Wales, as Thorfinn gives Askeladd the same tragic look he gave his dying father, the viewers are filled with confused grief as they watch the man who was portrayed as the villain of the series die a hero.
Nicely done.
Number 8. Koro Sensei, Assassination Classroom.
Pitcher Koro throws a staggering 300 kilometers an hour! Infielder Koro sets up an impregnable barrier of doppelgangers!
Koro Sensei's final moment is almost as poetic as it is tragic. As the students pin an exhausted Koro Sensei to the ground and prepare to complete their year-long goal of assassinating the octopus-like creature, they are filled with intense grief. This is what they've been training to achieve for so long, and yet now that the time finally comes, they're hesitant to take that last push of the knife. Their journey with Koro-sensei is a long and treacherous one, filled with many life lessons that aren't just targeted to the kids, but the viewers as well. He takes on one final roll call, listing off the names of his beloved students by heart and reminiscing on how proud he is of the students who gave him a reason to live. Koro-sensei's death was the main focus and reason for the series to exist. It gave the children meaning and hope for something to strive for in a life where they felt abandoned. His existence was the cause of the growth of so many. At the end, watching him get killed by the very children he nurtured for that very purpose almost didn't feel real.
Surely I deserve some thanks too!
Oh yeah? For doing what?
You've pretty much been on the sidelines the whole time.
Number 7. Kyojuro Rengoku, Demon Slayer. Now, out of everyone on this list, Kyojuro's death was the one that felt almost needless. He fought with his very last breath to make sure that no one but him died after the events of Mugen Train. His determined spirit and impressive feats in that battle was enough to draw the admiration of even the literally pig-headed Inosuke. He was strong and had the potential to become more than what we ever saw from him. And yet, he still died tragically, succumbing to the injuries inflicted on him by an upper-ranked demon who he almost killed. The tragic ending of the fight brought everyone to tears, from the characters in the anime to the viewers watching. And yet, despite giving his life to that battle, he is still considered to have come out victorious. He protected everyone with his dying breath and imparted some words of wisdom to Tanjiro that would follow him and embolden him for the rest of the show. His sacrifice, while painful, was a necessary evil and was in no way pointless, no matter how it looked and how much it hurt.
を支える柱となるのだ。俺は信じる。
Number 6. Mine, Akame ga Kill.
助けに行くとかバカなこと言わないでよ、Akame。あいつの存在が。
Mine is your typical tsundere, taking every trait imaginable from the stereotype. From being hot-headed, insultive, and often physically violent, she's everything you would hate from the typical tsuntun archetype. So, as Mine steps out of the night raid hideout, prepared to risk her life to save Tatsumi, a man who initially seemed she was disinterested in, it's obvious that her character has undergone an intense transformation from who she used to be. She's joined by the rest of the night raid who have a joint goal of rescuing Tatsumi no matter what. She gives her all to rescue him and even almost dies multiple times in the process. Until, eventually, after being mortally wounded, and with Tatsumi by her side, she confesses her love to him and takes her last breath, satisfied that she managed to save the man she loves. Although, if you're looking for a lighter ending to this tragic love story, in the manga, everyone's favorite tsundere survives after a long coma and wakes up to find out she's pregnant with Tatsumi's child. If you can't bear the horrible fate she endured, the manga might just be the escape for you.
大好きよ。
Number 5. L. Death Note. L was a master detective, committed to the goal of figuring out the identity of Kira through any cost. He gives a lot to this goal and lends his intelligence to the police force to try and locate the serial killer. His sharp instincts eventually lead him to the mysterious Light Yagami, who he's convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt is the real-life identity of Kira. This intense chase is the cause of his eventual death at the hands of the very person he chased after for so long, even after discovering things that no normal human would have any idea about, including the Death Note, the existence of Shinigami, and Kira's true method of killing. L's real name still finds its way into the pages of the Death Note, solidifying his death. He's killed off by a heart attack and falls into the arms of the very person he suspected this whole time. As his life leaves him, he sees Light's smug, almost maniacal smile, proving to him once and for all that Light was Kira all along. Number 4. Erwin Smith, Attack on Titan.
みんな何かの奴隷だった。
Erwin is an inspirational commander in Attack on Titan who gave his life just as epically and heroically as he lived, surrounded by his fallen comrades. In his last moments, he gives an inspirational speech of hope and determination to his soldiers who he's prepared to die beside in his goal to protect the living. As he rides horseback towards the Beast Titan in an effort to distract it long enough for Levi to take it down, he continues to shout words of encouragement to his troops who charge alongside him towards their deaths. Erwin, who rode at the front of the charge, is finally struck down off his horse. Even with the great pain he feels as he lays on the ground, he still smiles with determination, knowing his dream was achieved. He is later found by Flock, who brings him back, surprisingly still alive but mortally wounded. With a chance to save him from a Titan's serum at hand, Levi is about to give him this serum, but remembers Erwin's true goal to die alongside his fallen comrades for the sake of freedom. So he gives the serum to Armin instead, fulfilling Erwin's wish and allowing him to die peacefully. Number 3. Kaori, Your Lie in April.
Meow.
Kaori's story is a truly tragic one. She's a young girl remembered by all for bringing a smile wherever she goes and uplifting the lives of those she interacted with. Still, despite all of her youthfulness and energy, Kaori tragically has a terminal illness that is sucking away at her life force and will eventually and inevitably kill her. Although she tries her best to hide it from her friends and her love, it's not something you can keep hidden for long. Eventually, cracks begin to show in her facade, and she ultimately succumbs to her disease. Her life ends tragically during a surgery where a doctor does everything within his power to save her life, but she ultimately passes on despite all the efforts put up to save her. Still, Kaori is remembered by all who knew her and all the viewers who watched her as a loving, brave, and inspirational young girl.
That's what I get for overdoing it.
Number 2. Portgas Diaz, One Piece.
二人それに鳥か。
Despite not being in the anime for as long as other notable characters, Ace is still remembered as a fan favorite in the One Piece anime. The sworn older brother of Luffy tragically gives his life to protect him, taking a magma-fueled punch through his chest and ultimately dying from his injuries. He tragically dies right in front of his little brother, leaving a long-lasting traumatic impact on Luffy for the rest of the series. Still, he would not have it any other way, as in his dying moments he sees all the people who came to fight for him and rescue him. The overwhelming love and support he receives from his friends in the last moments is enough to allow Ace to die with a smile on his face, satisfied with his life in his last moments.
まだお前と話したりねえ。俺は朝には仲間んとこへ合流しなきゃならねえんだ。
We hope you enjoyed the video so far. Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Jiraiya, Naruto.
そうか、わかったぞ。ペインの正体。
The death of Jiraiya is a tragic one known by all anime fans. In an effort to find out the true identity of Pain and the secret to their power, the legendary Sanin infiltrates the Hidden Rain, but it's not long before Pain and Conan are alerted and an intense battle ensues. Jiraiya is no pushover though, and puts up an intense fight, but he's ultimately no match for the group. With his arm chopped off and his throat crushed, Jiraiya managed to figure out the true secret of Pain. He sent an encoded message back to the Hidden Leaf, which ultimately ends up being the key to defeating the group as a whole. But the cost of Jiraiya's life was still a heavy price to pay. His death has a traumatic impact on Naruto, a boy he considers his own grandson, as well as the woman he loved, Tsunade. Although the trade saved countless lives, it's still an intense trade that is felt by many in the Hidden Leaf, as well as fans of the anime world itself.
The tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. Well, now it'll end a bit better, I hope.
And there you have it, anime fans. Some of the saddest deaths in anime. Why not leave a comment down below on which of these had you shedding a tear? And hey, before you head down to the trauma section, why not give an emotional tap to the like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this? I can promise that the next one won't hit just as hard. Regardless, thanks for watching and see you next time.